If that were me, I would put all my money into fucking Bitcoin or Ethereum or something. Just let it stay and I'll be in jail for a couple of years. I come
Honestly,
back, you're a billionaire.
Can you imagine? That
Yeah.
actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Speaking
man.
of crypto, did you hear about the Squid Game currency?
Don't get me started.
Okay, so quick recap. Actually, I'm going to read it to you because I want to get these details right. This is so funny to me. Kyle posted this the other
A little caveat before we start.
Yeah.
I think Matt said this a while back. If you are just looking to invest and just throw money wherever, just go to Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
Do not play around. People are smarter than you and have more money than you. They will take your money.
Yeah. It's a fine line between like, okay, what does that token do? Do you know anything about it? Or is it just a lot of people talking about it right now? Okay, if a lot of people are talking about it right now, be prepared to lose that money literally the next day. So if you're willing to take that risk, okay, go ahead. Let's hear this.
Okay, so everyone knows the Squid Game came out and it's the biggest show in the world right now.
I am over it.
Anyways, unrelated to Squid Game, the Squid crypto coin was not officially affiliated with Squid Game.
Yeah, not at all.
Anyone who has visited the squidgame.cash, now defunct, or Reddit's Twitter, also dead, and bought Squid, wasn't able to sell it on crypto exchange PancakeSwap, even as its value rose from $38 to $2,861 in a week.
Yeah.
And the the launched and vanished. The creators of this coin, whose identities are unknown, pulled out the rug on investors and pocketed $3.3 million, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like, so when the first crypto hype of like 2017 and 2018, when Bitcoin first had that big parabolic run, it was the exact same story, just with different types of coins, of people, anonymous people investing in random coins and people just making coins. Like, we can go out and make a coin right now. We can create a Talk Our Way Out podcast fucking coin and just see what happens, right? Like, it's that easy. You can just copy and paste literal code from GitHub and make an actual working coin. But yeah,
Wild.
So then with that, there's just, as soon as you can get enough hype behind something, people start investing, and everyone's talking about Squid Games. So it's like, oh, a fucking Squid coin? Hell yeah. Of course people are going to invest in that because no one knows what they're actually looking into. Everyone just hears these hype words and it's like, oh, that sounds neat. Oh, that thing has a picture of a dog. That sounds neat. And it's just, it's all fucked, man. Like, if you don't know what the token actually does, or if you don't know what it will do in the future, you have to really question, okay, what am I putting my money into? Am I just throwing it into a black hole?
That's wild to me.
You can kind of see the evolution in the scams though, because with FaZe Clan, they like a couple of them got caught and they were getting charged with it because they said this was a coin that was gonna do this. The Squid Game one, they never officially said it was affiliated to Squid Game.
Yeah.
They basically said we were gonna do the game, but it just didn't end up working out. So we're gonna sell our coin, and you guys can do whatever you want with yours. At that point, everybody's like, okay, well, there's no value. I'm going to sell a coin that has no game attached to it for thousands of dollars. No, it's going to be pennies now.
Yeah, there's a subtle difference between like a legit scam and a rug pull, right?
Yeah.
Because like a rug pull is a scam, but they didn't do anything. You were just the fucking idiot who invested in this fucking token that does nothing because you thought everyone else was doing it, right?
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of it has to do with like how Doge just kind of launched, and now Shiba Inu is just taking off right now because it's the next Doge. Like everyone's fucking talking about it, right?
It's got a cute dog on the cover. What do you mean, Matt?
Yo.
Tell us
It's
about
the
Shiba.
same dog.
Tell us about Shiba Inu, Matt.
I got some notes on Shiba.
Matt's triggered about this whole thing.
So if anyone's
I love
heard in
it.
the news, just recently there was someone who made $5.6 billion or something like that from an $8,000 investment on Shiba Inu. So everyone's been talking about that for the last little while. Dustin was actually the person who kind of introduced me to this one wallet. So the cool thing about crypto is you don't need to know anyone, but everything is verifiable. You can check these transactions. So my first thought was, this is bullshit. Like, no, it's just literally not possible.
Literally what Matt said to me, bullshit. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know. That's just what I heard.
You're wrong.
Yeah, so I literally, I looked up the actual transaction history of Shiba Inu, and I looked through this, and I found all the research, and I found the wallet that was actually holding this $5.6 billion worth of Shiba. So sure enough, yeah, this motherfucker invests a couple $1,000. It was just over 400 days ago, under 500, and he makes 5.6 billion. So that's insane, right? That's insane. So there was a couple of other things that were happening in the news. Like when it was first launched, they gave like a couple 100 trillion tokens to Vitalik. I'm saying that wrong, but he's like the co-founder of Ethereum, right? And it was like a publicity stunt where they're like, here, if you like Doge, which is its own thing, you'll love this Shiba because it's under the Ethereum network. And he ended up donating, I think, all of it. And it ends up being like $1 billion that went to like a relief fund out in India, which is like, that was pretty cool, but it was a publicity stunt from the creators of Shiba just to get the name up there. So anyways, I've been following this wallet ever since. Like, it's like, yo, this motherfucker, you can't just all of a sudden make that much money and have a very illiquid market and expect to be able to pull that money out and not affect the market.
See, that's what's wild to me. You're basically telling me he made all this money, but he might never actually, like, unless he tries some sneakiness, he might not be able to even sell it and actually take that profit.
Yeah, because if you launch out, or if you pull out a large amount of your funds all at once, that's going to affect the market. Like that's like people are going to get afraid of that and they're going to take a price lower than the market value, which is then going to make the actual price drop farther. That's just how the market works.
But if he sells at that peak point, doesn't he just sell at that peak point and everyone after him's fucked?
He can try and sell as much as possible, but it's going to crash the market. There's not
So he can't sell it all in one
because there's
thing.
only so many people buying tokens. So if he has more to sell than people have to buy, there's going to be a break in the market where those last bit of buyers are going to be accepting an even the way the market works is depending on how many sellers and how many buyers there are at any given time.
Okay.
So if there are way more sellers than there are buyers, the sellers are going to do whatever they can in order to make sure that they can sell. So that means they're going to sell at a lower price. As soon as the price gets lower, there's going to be more buyers because more buyers are going to go, oh, there's a discount. I'm going to buy this coin now. So if there's a huge amount more sellers than buyers, it'll crash the market because in order to sell that many tokens, you have to sell it at a lower price in order for people to buy it. So it's just like the market is its own living entity, basically, right?
So it's kind of like a risk. Like if he goes for it and tries to sell, then he either somehow pulls it off.
Yeah.
Or the more likely scenario, he sells a portion of it, then fucks the rest of it, and he's back to having no money.
So we can he is, just to be clear, he's the number 2 Shiba holder. Like out of all of the wallets, he owns the second most. So he has, over the last couple of days or last week, basically, he's been transferring out about 10 trillion tokens at a time to various wallets, which is equal to about $650 million each. So he's got a few different wallets that he's transferred out into, and he's trying to disperse his amount so that he can then use those wallets to more than likely split that up into smaller amounts. And then he's going to try and start selling each one off little bits at a time, maybe 1 week or 1 month at a time, so that it doesn't affect the market so much, so that he's only selling into certain buyers, and then he waits for more buyers to come, right?
Is it possible for him to, because like you were showing me before, like you can swap tokens for other tokens. Is it possible for him to swap his super valuable tokens for something else and sell in that market instead?
It's still technically the same thing, especially within the Ethereum network. The way it actually works is if I have Shiba and then I have, let's say, MakerDAO, let's just another Ethereum coin. I don't believe in MakerDAO. I think it's a good coin. I don't hold any of it, but it's just the first one I could think of. So if I want to trade one coin for the other, the way the actual exchange works, like if you go onto Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, you trade them, but what's actually happening in the background is that Shiba gets traded into Ethereum or potentially wrapped Ethereum, and then that wrapped Ethereum gets traded back into whatever coin you want. So there's something happening in the background, but then on the foreground, you don't really notice that because you don't need to know anything about that. You don't need to understand the background mechanics of how the tokens transact with each other.
So by trading it for another coin versus trading it
It's
for $1,
still selling it.
You're still selling it. It
Yeah.
doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. So you're still selling it for a specific value, and then that value is able to purchase a different type of token.
Strange.
Yeah, so
So he's got to play the long game. if
yeah,
he wants-
he more than likely he probably contacted some very wealthy people trying to figure out how the best way to get rid of this. Like he's probably
How do I liquidate all of this money.
Exactly, yeah. So there's more than likely a hedge fund that's probably involved at this point that are willing to take a certain percentage and pay him to figure something out. Like there's probably going to be more marketing for Shiba now, and it's probably going to be funded by him, which is pure speculation. But if I had $5 billion and I needed to get it out,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find someone who has a lot of money who can fund marketing to make this coin sound even better. Which it's in the news right now. Maybe the reason everyone knows about this wallet is because he's trying to figure out how to get rid of it, right? So
Jeez.
Speaking of manipulating a
Conspiracies.
market, have you? I don't know.
I'm
if
not
you
even
guys
done
have
with
noticed-
this, but
Oh, you're
I want to hear more.
Okay, I'll be real quick. Little pin. We'll be
'Cause
right
I have
back
more.
into it.
I
We'll
have
be
more.
right back into it. But I don't know if do you guys ever watch like just regular TV or is
No.
it only
No.
streaming? Okay,
Who has
So,
cable anymore, Kyle? What
I
the
watch
fuck?
it
Old
for
people.
sports. I watch it for like NBA games.
Okay.
That's about it. But so I'm noticing Amazon is in the news as like the best place to work. They're hiring more people. They give all these extra benefits. All
Sounds like a
the
lie to me.
yeah. There's like an ad where a guy's like, oh, like I really need to. I'm looking forward to getting my tuition paid, like all of it, to start working here. And like, yeah, we accept any hours. Like probably 6 months ago, all anybody talked about with Amazon is how they treat their workers like slaves.
Yeah.
They're underpaid. They're not allowed breaks. They time how fast they get everything done.
Yeah.
This is how you see kind of like the high end guys. Like Jeff Bezos has so much money that he's now like, oh shit, people don't like me. Okay, I'm gonna switch the narrative. I have enough money to tell the news. This is what you're gonna say now, and I have all these ads.
all
Amazon's
just
a great
marketing,
place
man.
to work now. It took 6 months and literally no changes,
Yeah.
and now
it's
we're great.
Whoever just has the most money, right?
Yeah.
It's, you can
Wild.
just kind of market whatever you want.
It's crazy to think that like people's perception can just change that fast if you have enough influence.
Yeah.
That is absolutely wild to me.
Okay, so I'm not done shitting on Shiba.
Shitting on
Shitting
Shiba.
on
Hey.
Shiba.
Yeah, because, okay, so it is the
Timestamp
third
that.
most searched crypto term this year with 2.8 million searches on average per month this year. So to put that into perspective, Bitcoin has 20 million searches a month and Ethereum has, in number 2 spot, has 6.8 million searches. So it's really hot. Like everyone's talking about it, right? If you dig a little bit deeper, like I was trying to do a bunch of research. So Edward Snowden, if anyone gives a shit about him, and then Michael Burry, who is the guy from behind like The Big Short, they're both pretty against this coin because again, it's just pure hype and people are wasting their money. So then off the record, Coinbase, which is a pretty big exchange, was even recorded basically saying it's a bad investment because it's just got so many tokens out there that it's a ridiculous thing. So if anyone doesn't even know, Shiba has 1 quadrillion tokens like that'll be made, which is just insane. To put
Yeah.
that into perspective again, Bitcoin has 21 million tokens that'll ever be made.
And they're in the quadrillion.
Yeah, so they have 1 quadrillion tokens.
That's
so
absurd.
yeah, so the point of Bitcoin is like there's only going to be 21 million and it's just going to get more or harder and harder to acquire as time goes on. If this thing actually stays here for a long time, if you don't own some by now, it's going to just keep getting harder and harder to own. And the earlier you own it, the more you get rewarded for it because it's just designed to be deflationary and get more valuable over time. So having something with 1 quadrillion tokens, who the fuck cares? Like it's an insane number.
That's wild.
I think that was something similar, just with the numbers that you're saying. I know in Germany after the war, because their money lost all of its value because they were obviously shit on by everybody after that. They basically had to keep creating money, and it was worth nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's like
so like to go buy a loaf of bread, they'd fill up a wheelbarrow and carry their
that's
money.
like
to go buy
Zimbabwe
for
that
it.
happened.
Yeah.
Everyone was a millionaire in Zimbabwe because you needed a fucking $1 million for a loaf of bread. It's insane. It's hyperinflation, right? But yeah, so like the top 10 wallets hold 72% of this token. So that screams centralization. Like that screams the top 10 people who own this own 72% of it.
That's
So
scary.
a large majority of the people are like controlling it.
Yeah.
So the top wallet alone, the top number 1 wallet owns 41% of it. That's insane. One
That's scary.
person owns almost half of all of it. So owns half a quadrillion tokens. So then the number 2, this guy, he owns 7% of it. And that's insane.
So the fact that 7% was like 6 billion or whatever, and this guy's got 41%,
Yeah.
he ain't actually ever seeing that money.
Yeah, I don't know, unless they're probably working the top 10 people are probably working together to figure out ways to market to make it look like it's a valuable project that's going to last a long time, right? Where
Try and keep people invested as they're trying to de-invest.
yeah, so with that being said, like I literally just got a notification today on Wealthsimple and Shiba's being listed there. So there will more than likely, because as soon as it pumped, it was like past Doge and everyone's talking like, oh, it's in the top 10%. It's been going down ever since. But now that it's getting listed on really easy to acquire exchanges, it'll probably have another pump. And this is going to be the pump where the people who have no idea what's going on and they just hear this thing in the news about a week ago and they're like, oh, I heard about that thing. And now I can buy it right here. Yeah. So they're going to invest in this thing. So there will more than likely be a small pump again. And then as soon as that happens, these people who own the big amounts, that's their opportunity because there's going to be more buying power. More buyers mean sellers can sell at a better profit. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
It's yet again the people that have the money on top are able to play this long game where they're like, yeah, I own 40% of nothing.
Yeah.
The value is really nothing until I sell.
The longer you
I
can
just have
make
to
it last.
convince everybody else that it's going to be worth it for them.
Yeah.
And like people like us where we're like, I'm going to throw 100 in. I'm like really feeling myself. And then it's like, oh shit. It's
Well,
worth
see,
zero.
the problem is too, because even when the market was hot a couple of months ago during the summer, there was like Safe Moon and I think Doge, that's when it was popping off too. And again, I knew multiple friends were like, well, I know it's probably a scam, but I mean, I'll just throw in $10 or I'll just throw in $20. But that's what everyone's thinking, right? So these people at the top are making millions of dollars because there's millions of people throwing in $20 at a time kind of thing, right? And just seeing what happens. It's like, yeah,
It's
you
like-
can play that game, but
It's like going to an ATM and paying a $2.50 fee. It doesn't feel like anything to you, but somebody owns that ATM.
yeah, the banks are making
They're
killer,
getting-
right?
or you have an insufficient funds, $5 payment.
Yeah.
Everybody has that once in a while, and that's a fuckload of money somebody's getting.
Yeah. So yeah, I could go on and on, but I'm gonna finish it there. So just if you don't know anything about crypto, actually do some research. Just read into it a little bit. Try and figure out why it's around. Look into Bitcoin. Look into Ethereum. Find out what they're doing, and then figure out everything else about the other coins. And you're gonna find out that it's either they're trying to compete with Ethereum or they're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. So you need to ask yourself, do you think that problem's going to happen, or is it just hype? And that's my take.
Yeah.